Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And I'm back with part 2 of What If Naruto Was. The Deadpool and Wolverine, guys. Part 2. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime Symbol of What If Naruto Was a Ruthless Prodigy with Yankurama, guys, and enjoy that. And also, if you're new, yes, I did have 3 more channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode? Let's begin now, guys. So the last part we left off, a crime lord was immensely afraid of who was hunting him. So much so that he hired a lot of expensive missing names. The problem was, the person that was coming after him was just too good. His name was Deadpool. His whole body, including his face, was covered as he was wearing a mask. He had 2 swords on his back. As he stepped inside, he had a rather unusual sense of humor, as he mostly spoke in nothing but jokes as he talked and fun around. However, the man knew that he was coming here, as he told them to put an end to him. Unfortunately, though, as the battle progressed, they soon realized that they were completely outmatched. 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, they were cut down without a shred of mercy, slashed, and taken down. None of them stood a chance, as they were being wiped out. As you soon come to realize that this Deadpool individual, he had a rather advanced healing ability. But not just that. We skipped to Konoha, where a young girl, her name was Mito Namikaze, as she was excited because she was going to be going on her first mission outside the village. Her mother, Kushina Uzumaki, was worried about her. It was natural for a mother to be concerned about their child's well-being, especially on their first mission outside the village. Her father was Minato Namikaze, as she greeted him at the office before she headed out. They came across some trouble in the form of the Demon Brothers. However, they dealt with the threat. Once that was said and done, they continue on. The man had lied about the mission, but they decided to still help him anyways, as they headed straight for the Land of Wave. Meanwhile, Deadpool was talking to a man known as Amado. Amado was keeping him on a payroll because he was using him to wipe out a lot of criminal lords, and Amado was taking over their business. Amado was not a good person, but Deadpool was not really a good person either, as he was also sent to the Land of Wave to get rid of Goto. Upon arriving there, he picked up on a scent because he had extremely advanced sensory abilities, smell, hearing, everything. As he knew who it was, he came across his foe in the past. It was Zabuza Momokai. So with that, he made his way. Upon scouting out the area, he saw the small, little red-headed girl, as she was talking to Haku little buddy without even knowing. He simply sat there and watched the whole interaction took place. Once that was said and done, He waited. When the days finally came around, he was there. As he made his way towards a bridge, Mito had to protect Tazuna's family before she headed out. However, while trapped in the dome, their battle was interrupted immediately. Haku went to kill Deadpool, but he extended strange blades from his hands, 3 on both sides, as he sliced right through his eyes like it was absolutely nothing. As he took Haku on in hand-to-hand combat, Haku did not stand a chance in hell, as he was quickly overpowered. Deadpool told the Konoha ninjas that he was not a foe to them, so there was nothing for them to worry about, as they found his sense of humor rather off-putting. Bringing Haku to Zabuza, he stood there as he spoke to the man, giving him a chance. After all, he wasn't here for him. When Gato showed his head, he threw a knife directly in Gato's skull, before he proceeded to annihilate all the others. He took Gato's head as he said goodbye to the others before he jumped away in the water. Returning back to the village after the bridge was complete, Minato was glad that it was not Deadpool's job to come after his squad, as Kakashi's squad would be in great trouble. He knew that individual, but he had no idea who was under the mask. To this day, no one in the Elemental Nation knew who exactly was under that mask. He had absolutely no idea. We then skipped towards Mito, who had fallen asleep, as Kushina was happy to see her there, safe and alright. However, it brought back some bad memories. Mito was not their first child. They had another. However, that child was taken away from them by unknown forces. To this day, they had no idea. Upon Minato resealing the 9 tails, the Anvu squad along with the nurses were killed, and the child was taken. A baby boy that they didn't even get to name, blonde hair, and at each of his blonde strand was a red strand like his mother. It brought back sad and bad memories. That is why they were so protective of Mito, always watching over her to make sure she was alright. That is why they trained her so properly to make sure that she was going to be alright out there in the field. We then skipped back to Deadpool as he was home. He took off his mask, exposing his face. That was completely normal. He had blue eyes, blonde hair. At each of the blonde strand there was a red tint. However, as he gazed into the mirror, memories of the past came back. When he first woke up, he woke up in a testing tube, surrounded by nothing but water, and there was so much rage coursing through him. He exploded out with a vengeance, as he was not in his right state of mind. So yeah guys, basically let's play it off. You guys can switch across and please check it out for yourself. So to begin this new episode, we begin this episode in the past. A man arrived back to his location as he was surprised. Rushing inside, bodies littered everywhere. They were torn apart, limb from limb, heads removed, arms removed, legs removed, intestines ripped out, eyes gouged out, face slashed apart, torn and ripped apart. The man rushed inside as he came across where the massive tube was. However, it was broken. All the water on the ground. His fist clenched as he viciously slammed it into the wall. He escaped. He said to himself, escaping from that place. His mind was blurry. His mind was foggy. However, he could remember. Days. He was alone. He was hungry. However, his body still held up. People saw him and they ran. They called him a monster. They called him hideous. As he looked at his reflection in the water that he came across, his face was a mess. He hid away. Days went by as he found a remote forest. He had to do something for food, so he started to hunt. He found himself able to hunt perfectly, finding his prey rather easily. However, he was afraid. to look back at his reflection. He didn't want to see that face. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know why he was like this. And he hated it. He despised it. For days, weeks, months, he spent in the forest, alone, isolated. Nowhere to call home. No one to call family. Until that day. He stopped eating as he looked up. He heard something. He slowly advanced outside of the cave that he had found. He came to a stop. The first thought that came to his head was, it was the same people that had taken him. The same people that turned him into this freak, into this monster. His anger started to flare. He rushed outside and jumped at the person. Immediately, his knuckles ripped as the massive claws, 3 on each hand, emerged. A rather powerful steel. He slashed at the individual. However, the man who was holding a bag with a simple wooden stick somehow used the stick to deflect his slash. However, that should not be possible. What he had, they were solid as steel, maybe even stronger, he believed. However, it wasn't about the strength, it was about the technique. The man allowed him to bring his weight down while he reduced the amount that he used, cancelling out the force. However, he wasn't done yet. He attacked him with everything that he got. However, this person just toyed with him, but he refused to go back. He refused to let them do this to him again. He still didn't know who or what he was, or where he was from. These people turned him into a beast that everyone called a monster or freak. He started to lash out even more until the man slammed the wooden stick into his stomach. He then whacked him across the face. He then moved behind him and chopped him in the neck. At first it did not work until the man eyed him suspiciously before he raised his hand and struck him in the neck with a strange style, chakra, coming off of his fingers. The young boy collapsed on the ground as he was out like a light. Sometime later, consciousness started to snap back to him as he slowly opened his eyes. He was lying on a bed. It was soft, flush. He was confused. As he pulled himself up, he looked around, having no idea what majority of the things in the rooms were. As he got off the bed and started to walk, his nose picked up on a rather strong smell. As he slowly made his way down, as he was going down a small set of stairs, as he saw something on the table, he tilted his head in confusion. As he slowly approached, the smell made him feel nice. He stepped towards it, loving the sensation. It made him feel so nice. Even when he eat in the forest, it didn't smell like this. Slowly he approached and reached in, but he pulled his hand back. It burned. But he reached back in and pulled out a strange white round thing. It had a strange pink swirl on it. As he put it in his mouth, his eyes immediately light up, delighted by the taste. As he started to pick out the white stuff and eat them, one by one, that is when he heard the voice. "You like the Naruto topping, huh?" He turned immediately, the claws elongated as he jumped. However, he was sent sailing back down by a single hit as he crashed on the ground. "Alright now, calm down. I'm not trying to hurt you. Well, more than I've already done. But that was on you, kid." The boy picked himself back up, still looking confused and ready to fight. The man simply chuckled as he had a bowl in his hand. "I figure that this would caught your attention when you wake up. Guess my estimate on your time waking up was a bit off. He sat down as he started to eat. Come on, he said, as he patted the seat next to him. You must be starving. You've been out for some time, he said, as he started to eat his own bowl. The confused child simply stood there, as he narrowed his gaze at the man. He then sniffed. The smell was different. The animals in the forest, they had a smell, and they attacked him, but this man didn't have that smell. Slowly, he made his way as he sat down. However, his gaze was focused and stuck on the man, refusing to let him out of his sight. He picked up another one of the ramen toppings as he threw it in his mouth, one after another. Once they were done, he sunk his hand into the bowl and simply opened his mouth and threw it inside. The man chuckled. Well, I guess those were not useful to you, he said, pointing towards the chopsticks. So kid, what's your name? The boy tilted his head confused as he sniffed once again. He then spoke for the first time. Name? What's name? He repeated after the man. He had no memories, no recollection of anything. When the people in the village that he came across called him freak and monster, he just went off of their feeling. As he saw the anger, he felt the anger. That is what he went off of. So you don't have a name, huh? The man said, as he looked down towards the boy. I should call you Naruto. As he chuckled to himself. You know what? That's what I'm gonna call you, since you like those toppings so much. You hear that, Naruto? As the boy looked up towards him, it wasn't until some time later that Naruto found out that this man, he was Yamamoto Teshikaru. That name was no ordinary name. Yamamoto was one of the original creators of the 7 Ninja Blades of Kiri. Yes, he was there. He was extremely old. Don't make his rather calm and rather funny exterior put you off. But despite his age, he seemed to possess a rather unique longevity. After all, he was able to take Naruto down. While Naruto wasn't skilled at the moment or anything special, he was fast and stronger than your average child. Yamamoto had left his own village after the bloodline purge, as chaos erupted within his village. There were certain events that made him leave, as he lost someone very dear to him. And now he was out here by himself. He didn't have much time left, so, well, he was good to live peacefully. However, for some reason he didn't know why, he felt like he should help this child. So that is what he did. Months passed by. Months turned into years as Naruto started to gain a better understanding over the human language. He had no recollection of his past, absolutely nothing. The last thing he could remember was waking up in a test tube, and that was all. Yamamoto realized that the child was being experimented on, and whoever did it, they were successful. The metal that was under his skin, Yamamoto had seen it before. It was adamantium. Yes, he had tried to use it to make a blade, but it was inefficient because of the weight of the iron. He was shocked because this thing was extremely rare. The kid had it all over, not to mention those claws of his could basically tear through anything. Now he understood why the first chop in the child's neck did not knock him out. Yamamoto's personality seemed to rub off on Naruto. As old as he was, he had a rather jokey side, given the fact that he named the boy Naruto after the ramen topping. And that rubbed off on Naruto a lot, shaping his whole personality. Naruto came to look up at the man as a father. Never knew no other father or anyone that was ever there for him. However, Yamamoto noticed that Naruto refused to look into any mirrors. He refused to look at his reflection. The first time Yamamoto saw him, he saw the child's face. and he knew that something went horribly wrong with the boy. However, over time, even those marks heal. Yamamoto realized that the child possessed a unique regeneration, a healing ability like he's never seen before. He doubted anyone on the elemental nation possessed such healing ability, as Naruto had accidentally cut off his own finger, and it had regrew just like that. It was a rather difficult moment when Yamamoto made Naruto look at his reflection. However, upon seeing his face for the first time in such a long while, how much he has grown, how much he has changed, he was shocked. He was no longer what they call him, a freak, a monster. His skin, his complexion, everything had returned to normal, no longer plagued with that hideous face. He had actually burst into tears right there and then. However, a couple of years after that, Yamamoto started to show signs. He was slowing down. Naruto wanted to do something. He wanted to use his blood, his DNA, to help him, but Yamamoto had told him that it was his time, that everyone had a time, and it was finally his. His life he lived was eventful, filled with adventures, some regrets. However, he's accepted that all. The last thing that he told Naruto was to go out there and make a name for himself, as Naruto vowed that he will. Taking what he needed, Naruto made his way off after burying the man that he came to see as a father, as he hit the road. And thus, Deadpool was born. The whole mask and name thing was because of what he saw when he first got a mission. When he was first able to step into the world as not a missing nin but a hired gun. Something rather tragic happened. He saw a man. He was being used by a bunch of thugs because his daughter was captured. As Naruto realized, there was many things in this world that would be a weakness because that man died, because he loved his daughter so much. Naruto decided to hide his face away from the world. So if something were to happen with him, if he was to find people that he come to see as friends, family, as close as he had with Yamamoto, no one would ever harm them. So, it took him a while to get what he needed and to have the suit made. The only person that actually knew who he was one that created the suit. However, Naruto doubted that wonderful old lady would ever say anything. Like him though, she also had a rather foul mouth, as Naruto enjoyed her company. She made him the suit. It fit rather well, given that he was able to regenerate and sometimes things get bloody. His mind had remembered his first mission when he saw the thugs and what they had did to the village. There was a pool of blood and a lot of dead people inside of it, and that gave him the name Deadpool, and thus he was born. And little by little, he started to take the nation by a storm. By now, every single major village, every single individual almost in the world knew about him, as he had a perfect record for always getting the job done. It doesn't matter what it was. That was how dangerous he was. His name was feared by many. Knowing that he was after you was a death sentence, a pretty messed up one, and most people would rather flee than fight, knowing that they would become a part of the Deadpool. So yeah, that is how he was born. Back to the original time, as Naruto threw himself down on his rather soft, comfortable bed and closed his eyes. Time skip. So let me get this straight. You want me to break into a secretive location that has been kept a secret for over 50 plus years because how powerful their security is? Then you want me to sneak into their most secretive location and steal their most secretive water? Deadpool asked as he sat in a chair. Amado was sitting there looking at him. Exactly, he said. I never take you for the water type. Whiskey, bourbon or something else, but not water. It's not for me. but you will be more than enough compensated for this very dangerous mission. Are you not up for it? Of course I am, he said as he jumped out of his chair. Have you forgotten who you're talking to? I'm like a shadow in the night. I'm like darkness itself. As he brought 2 fingers and placed them at the side of his head. You can call me the Batman. What? Amado said. Never mind, he said, waving him off. When do you want this sacred water of theirs? The client is willing to pay double, which means your fee will also go up by a drastic amount if it is delivered to them in the next 3 days. 3 days, huh? Well, I think I can get that done. You know, it would be really amazing right now if someone would say time skip and simply get me close by to the waterfall village. Wouldn't that be awesome? Who are you talking to? Amado said. Oh, he knows. He knows. Who knows? Have you finally lost your mind more than you already have? Hey, you're making me look like a real jackass now, and like I'm crazy or something. Skip the damn scene. Amado blinked in confusion once again. Time skip. Finally, Deadpool was crouched down in a tree as he gazed at the massive waterfall. This was the right location, he supposed. He could smell them, but he could not see them. What's that? Huh, it must be fate, he thought to himself. Meanwhile, he was outside. On the inside, Mito, Sasuke, and Sakura found themselves in a sticky situation. Kakashi was called back to the village, as Minato had sent back word to him for them to discuss information about the upcoming Chunin exams, as something was very important was going on. However, the new ruler of the village, a man known as Shibuki, inheriting the title after his father's death, was accompanied to the village by him. He gave the Konoha team another mission to help the children pick up the trash nearby the waterfall. Kakashi believed that the team would be more than capable to handle this, but he should know by now, this team was goddamn cursed. It was at the very moment that Suyen, Shibuki's former teacher, now exiled ninja of the village, came back to claim his rightful title as the leader, believing that Shibuki was not fit for it. Sasuke was sent sailing as he crashed on the ground. He was in pain. Mito gazed up as there was blood dripping down her lip. She was panting slightly. This guy was on a whole nother level. They've never had the opportunity to fight someone this powerful this up close. Kakashi was the one that took on Zabuza. However, Suyen was not playing around. Shibuki was holding his side as he was bleeding heavily. However, he ran forward to protect the kids. Mito got to her feet. She refused to go down like this. She refused to lose like this. I won't let you hurt anyone else. You damn stubborn girl. You've already lost, can't you see? Why do you insist on fighting me? Well, it doesn't really matter. I'll crush all of you after. He held out a cup in his hand. Rather a special, unique cup with dripping water inside of it. No, don't do it, Shibuki said. You were always a weak kind, Shibuki. Even your father was smart enough to drink, sip by sip, to empower himself, but you, refusing to even taste the sacred water of your own village. Truly pathetic. Well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? Because it belongs to me. As he brought it up to his lips, Mito ran forward to stop him, but before he could drink the water, I'll be taking that. Someone snatched it out of his hand as a feet crashed into his face. His body slammed into the root of the tree. Before anyone say anything, give me a moment, Deadpool said, as he unscrewed a round container and poured the water inside. He waited until the last drop was gone before he screwed the container up as he stored it. away on his rather all-purpose belt, as he then looked in the cup and made sure nothing was left before he tossed it away. Wait, hold on. Before I do anything else, I have to ask, was that the hero water? That doesn't belong to you, Shibuki said. Hand it over. Given your reaction, I can say that it was. Man, you're not doing so good. It would be wonderful for you to have some little regeneration right now. Well, I guess they don't sell those at the store, huh? As much as I've messed up by blowing my cover, I'm gonna do you a favor, so we don't have any problems. I'm gonna kill that guy for you. After all, I can see that the situation is quite tense. Give him back the water. It doesn't belong to you, Mito shouted. Oh, it's you guys. Well, I already knew that you were here. I'm confused though. Where is Control C and Control V? Control what? You know, your sensei. I doubt that he would leave you guys alone here with this maniac. Deadpool ducked as a powerful jet of water crashed where he once had his head. Give that back to me, Suyen said, descending downward, his fist covered in water. Boom! The entire area cracked. When his fist made contact with the ground, Deadpool looked over his shoulder. Wow, that's an impressive hole. I wonder if that's how we humans are born. Given the size of that hole, I have to say, the Earth has been a truly naughty girl. Well, given the amount of children that she has, I can't blame her. Sorry for shaming you. I hope you didn't take any offense. Suyen spun and nearly take off Deadpool's head as he simply ducking back away. Oh shit, you're really trying to kill me. You know, if you had a couple of sessions of what the Earth had, maybe you wouldn't be so angry all the time. I said, shut up! Suyen ran through hand sign before he released a powerful jet of water from his mouth. Oh shit. As Deadpool was hit with the blast, it swallowed a large portion of the area. However, as Suyen ran forward with the intention to grab the water off his corpse, all he received was a blade through his right hand. Now that's what I call a squirt, Deadpool said, jumping out of the earth. Huh, I'm surprised I can fit. Not just this part, he said, pointing down below, but all of me. I take what I said back. She's been really bad. Suyen tried to move away, but Deadpool brought his blade up as he sliced right through his fingers. He then spun and slammed a kick in his chest. He then dashed forward as Suyen flipped. However, Deadpool kneed him right in the nose. When he flipped around, he then grabbed him by the head. He lifted him up slightly before he could do anything, as he gave him a little kiss on the cheek. That's for being cooperative. As he spun and sliced downwards and sliced upwards. Suyen stood there for a long moment. Huh, what's that? I didn't quite hear you. As his body split into 4 pieces. Huh, I guess you split. You know, like a banana. He threw himself on the ground as he started to laugh, holding his side in utter joy. However, wind style, great wind breakthrough. He flipped off the ground as the wind style hit. As Mito was standing there, fire style, fireball jutsu. Sasuke launched a fireball from his back. He flipped over it as he jumped in the nearby tree before landing on the roof. How dare you? I was having such an intimate moment with my joke. He sliced a piece of branch off the tree. He vanished. Sasuke looked around. Behind you, Mito shouted, but as Sasuke threw his fist, Deadpool simply grabbed his wrist and flipped him over as he placed him over his knee. This is for being rude. He started to whack him right on the butt. Sasuke screamed as he was knocked, holding back. You rude little child, he said, as he whacked and whacked before releasing him, dropping Sasuke, who was holding his butt in shame and pain. Deadpool then flicked away. And now it's your turn, he said towards Mito. Stay away from me, you freak, she said, backing away. He vanished and appeared behind her. Lot faster than you thought, huh? As he simply poked her in the forehead. Don't worry, you see, the audience is okay with me doing that to the Uchiha, but you on the other hand, they will think that it's too graphic and it has to be sensitized. That is the kind of world we live in right now. Well, not us really, but you know what I'm saying. She thrust her fist out to punch him in the face, but he flipped away. As he landed on his feet, I really want to know, who are your guys' parents? You kids are so bad. I wasn't even half as bad when I was your age. Well, I did try to kill the man that I claimed to be my father on multiple occasions. Well, I didn't really know him back then, so I suppose it's okay. He started to smell the others coming. Well, I guess this is until we see each other again. You know, I think it's fate that we keep on running into one another. I mean, what's the chances? He jumped away as he was almost grabbed. Control C, Control V. What's up? As Kakashi arrived on the scene, what are you doing here, he said. I thought we got rid of you back in the land of Wave. Oh, about that. I simply came to help your students out. You see, they fought this guy over their friends. I believe that is why they were so roughed up. I saw a couple of bodies while coming in. And this guy was just too strong for them, so I stepped in and helped them. Is that true? Kakashi said, looking towards Mito. He did defeat the enemy, but he also stole the hero water. We can't allow him to leave. You know, it's not exactly yours. And the owner is unconscious, as you can see over there. Mito saw Shibuki on the ground with a couple of his ninjas surrounding him. So, if I take it and go, it shouldn't be a problem to you guys. Well, it is, as Mito was stopped by Kakashi. Stay where you are, he said. He's on a whole nother level than you can deal with. She grumbled under her breath. I'm glad you understand. Control C, Control V. What the hell does that even mean, said Kakashi. You know, copy, paste. Suppose I'm the only one. Well, I gotta get going because you see, I have things to do. People to kill. Sorry about the butt, Uchiha, but you had to be disciplined. Screw you, Sasuke shouted out, when I get my hands on you. Sasuke was not in a pleasant mood, as he wasn't usually the violent type, especially by words. More actions, but as Kakashi had to hold him back because Sasuke wanted to viciously attack Naruto. Well, see you guys. With that, he made his way off. Kakashi did not pursue because it was actually truthful. They did not have a mission to protect the hero water, and they've already done enough. Getting into a useless battle with this Deadpool individual would just be a waste of time, not to mention a very dangerous one. Mito was fuming though, and Sasuke was fuming as Sakura was arriving along with the others. All the kids were safe, as she had brought them to safety. However, the other two were rightfully pissed off. Time skip. Another round on the house for everyone, Naruto shouted out, as the entire bar cheered in happiness. They did not know him. He was new around here, but they loved him because he was buying everyone drinks. Naruto had money. Actually, a lot of money. However, he also has very expensive tastes. Like extremely expensive tastes. As Naruto noticed someone at the far back. Alcohol. It took a lot of it to get him drunk. An extreme amount because of his chemistry and his body. So yes, he had 2 gigantic bottles in both hands. Looking rather comedical, as he wasn't wearing his mask or his uniform. He was just Naruto right now. As he brought his hand and slicked his hair back, before making his way over towards. Mind if I sit down, he said. I don't want any company, she said to him, possessing blue hair and dark eyes. I noticed that you didn't take the drink that is going around, said Naruto. Just want to be alone, huh? Are you deaf? She said to him, Yet still he placed the bottles on the table. You know, when people are in a bad mood, they tend to enjoy having someone there to cheer them up. It helped release a lot of their stress by focusing on something else. The girl looked towards him with hate in her eyes. A few minutes later, she was laughing, as she couldn't understand. This guy he was funny. He was right as well. She was having an extremely sucky day, so she came here to drown all of her feelings into alcohol, as today was an extremely bad day for her. By the way, my name is Goran, what's yours? Oh, pleasure to meet you. Name is Naruto, he said as he extended his hand. It's nice to meet you, Naruto, she said, as she shook hands with him. Usually she came here to release some stress. That either be drinking or hooking up with someone. However, tonight she came to drink. But this Naruto individual, he was brightening her day. You seem to be getting sobered up. How about we get the party really started, he said, as he removed the lid off of the giant bottle. Are you trying to get me drunk, she asked, as she gave him a look. To take advantage of me, she said. Whoa, 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 he said as he held up his hand. If anything, it's the other way around. I might be a few years younger than you. I'm tempted to call Child Protective Services on you. So if you don't want that to happen, you're gonna have to keep on drinking. Child Protective Services, she said. You know, CPS. And besides, if anyone's gonna take advantage of someone, it's gonna be the other way around. I can already imagine it now. As we dive into Naruto's mind, Naruto was tied to a bed, his arms and legs well secured, as Goran was standing over him in an all-black leather suit, as she was whipping him. Naruto shook his head. I might have some kind of domination fetish. A smile came on Goran's face, as she started to partake in the drinking. Is that really so bad, she said, as once again that look was in her eyes. I don't know. It might be fun, he said to her. Later that night, as Goran nails ripped into Naruto's back, as things were getting rather hot and heated between the two, a simple meetup with her being in a horrible state turned into a rather fun and wonderful night. His back healed almost instantaneously though, as her nails run down his back. They were in a hotel room. The desk was broken, the table was broken, the fridge was turned on its side. The bed, it suddenly broke as both of them collapsed down, but nothing stopped them. The next morning, Naruto yawned as he woke up. As he opened his eyes, as he looked around. What the hell happened here? All of the memories started to rush back to his mind. Oh yeah, he looked around, but she was nowhere to be seen. As he saw a note on her pillow. Last night was amazing. However, I have to go. Bye. That was all it said. Naruto gripped his heart. Damn. She just used me as a pogo stick. I can't believe it. Well, it was fun. Like, extremely fun, he said. I mean, look at the room. I can't complain. And now I can say with a 100% certainty, I enjoy hot, dominating girls. Never knew that. Or maybe I did. As he flipped off the bed, without a shred of clothing, he made his way towards the balcony. He booked a rather expensive room, it seems. Good morning, wonderful people, he said out loud. As many people were passing down there, some of them were able to witness the morning standing up firm. As the girls blushed and looked away, people cursing at him to go and put on some clothes. Oh, I'm naked. Time skip. As the hotel staff was called up, now I see why he left so much money behind. Everything was destroyed, down to the last thing in the damn room. However, the guest had paid, which he said was a tip. But he was just being generous. Pretty nice guy, even though they will have to replace everything. If only they knew. Meanwhile, Goran returned back to the base. Yes, a really sucky day. Yukimaru had been in a bad condition. She was told that he would be fine though. However, she started to realize just how much she cared for him. She told herself that she would never become attached to anyone ever again, but here she was, feeling so broken and miserable, knowing that he was in a bad condition. She hated the experiments that were being done. Orochimaru promised to her though, that Yukimaru would be fine. If only he knew though, that she was the one that took his mother away. She released a breath. Hated to remember that she did that. Truly so. Her mind then ran on Naruto once again, as it brought a rather smile to her face, as she licked her lips slightly. I wonder if I'll meet him again, she thought, as she couldn't believe that things went so fast. Usually she didn't move that fast, but last night was special. And that Naruto individual was different. Funny, charming, hot, and amazing in the sack. If it was one way or another, he would be someone good to be with. However, her life was not set like that. As she made her way off, time skip, Naruto was making his way back in the intense desert. He was returning after another successful mission done. However, he came across something rather surprising. You know, if it wasn't one thing, I would think that I was being purposely put in these situations for one reason or another. He was surprised when he saw the Kazekage, along with Orochimaru, and another figure, and two other ninjas, Kazekage guards. Now that was something. Wonder what they're talking about. An idea came to mind. Most people would die. He, on the other hand, as he started to dig in the sand. Moments later, the Kazekage was dead, as Orochimaru stand there with Kimimaro, before they made their way off. The next moment, as they were gone, Naruto came out of the sand, as no one else would be able to survive that heat underground. He, on the other hand, as he shook himself off, he lied down beside the corpse of the Kazekage. Now what do you know, huh? Orochimaru is planning on invading Konoha, while using your people to do so. Man, you must be watching this from down below, wondering what are you gonna do? Well, you're really at hell, and I know that because you were a horrible person from what I heard. Well, who am I to judge? He said, throwing his arm around him. So what do I do here? I mean, I don't really care for Konoha, but there is the opportunity here. It is the strongest nation and the most wealthiest. I wonder, how much would the Hokage pay for this information? You know, sometimes I think I'm the most luckiest son of a bitch alive. I mean, what are the chances of me being here, just coming back from a mission to find out about this? I mean, isn't that amazing? You know, you can't chip in at any moment or even say something. Jeez, you're the worst company I ever got. You deserve to rot in hell for this. Oh, sorry. As Naruto picked himself up, as he stretched. Now to get to Konoha. Well, guess I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Time skip. Aizumo and Kotetsu were at the gate, as it was another standard boring day. Nothing was going on. However, their relaxation caused them to be catch off guard. You know, if I was the enemy, you guys would have been dead right now. Immediately they jumped out of the boot. I was able to evade all the envoys coming here. Well, given my unusual sensory ability, I have a special quirk, so I can't really fault you guys for that. They pulled your weapons. Your Deadpool, Izumo said. In the flesh. Well, in the suit as well. What are you doing here, Katetsu said. Isn't it obvious? I've come here for your woman. Every single one of them. They shall be mine. I'm just kidding, he said. I have some news for the Hokage. Some real important news. Trust me, he's gonna want to hear this. He took the swords off his back as he placed them down on the ground. He then lied down and placed his hand behind him. Go ahead, secure me. I mean you people no harm. Time skip. Ibiki's eye was twitching violently as he looked through the one-way mirror. Inside of said room, Naruto was singing as loud as he possibly could and dancing with a cheer. Ibiki's fist was clenching as his eye twitched. He had tried to get something out of him before the Hokage arrived, but this was the most annoying person that he's ever met in his entire life. As the Hokage finally arrived, a few minutes later, as Naruto was lying on the ground. Ah, finally. I really hate the poor services around here. I'll take one McFlurry and wait. Wrong scenario. As he sat back down on the chair. As Minato stepped in the room. Wow, you're handsome. No if or but, you're just unusually handsome. You have this girly feature that fits with this male feature. Huh. Never seen you before. Heard a lot. The pictures don't do you justice. Thank you, said Minato, as he walked in and sat down. In the recent years, twice, you have had an interaction with my village and my ninjas, he said. I heard about your recent crime in the land of Waterfall. What you stole from them. Ah, yes. Huh. Kinda forgot about that. But I did save your ninjas. Especially that little red-headed tomato. She was going to rush in and get herself killed. But I protected her. Because I was being a great person. Where is my reward for that? Why are you here, said Minato. Straight down to business, huh? No joking around with you. Alright, fine. Let's say I have information. Really important information. Information that would put the life of every single individual in this village in jeopardy if it's not told. Information that will wipe out every single one. Information that... Enough! Minato said. What kind of information you have? Last time I checked, an S-rank mission is over 1 million Ryu. So give me 5, because I think this information is worth 5 S-ranks. Minato chuckled slightly. I heard about your humor. Why on earth would I give you that much money for information that I have no idea if it will be useful or not? As Deadpool chuckled, he leaned forward as he motioned for Minato to lean forward as well. Minato did. Orochimaru. Minato pulled back with a questionable eyebrow. What about him? He's mixed up in all of this. And trust me, if you don't know about this soon, oh boy, your village is going to be in some deep shit. I'm not just gonna give you 5 million Ryu. I need something to know if this is creditable. To know if this is worth the amount of money I'm paying for it. Alright, I'll give you another name. Raza. You mean the Kazekage? Yep. What about them? I don't see any money anywhere. How am I to continue? I need it for motivation, supervision. in finding my memories and my thoughts. You walked into my village, trying to blackmail me with information that you know for money. What made you believe that I would allow you to leave afterwards? Minato said. Because I know your type. You're the good one out of the Great Five. You're not like the Raikage or the Kazekage. Or the Tishikage. Those people are great assholes. I had a few run-in with the Kazekage in the past. And the Raikage as well. And I'm sure the both of them want me dead. Well, one now. As you can see, I outlived the other one. Naruto slammed his hand over his mouth. What did you just say? Said Minato. As Naruto kept his hand over his mouth. Time skip. Minato placed 2 million Ryu on the table in a briefcase. As the money was to the side. After a very long, deep discussion, it showed that Naruto was not going to tell him anything. And Naruto was right about Minato. He would not start something that he had no idea what the end of it was. As Naruto looked at the cash, that's a part of it. Tell me what you mean by what you said earlier, said Minato, as he looked at him. Straight to business once again, huh? You have the looks but you don't have the words. Kind of disappointed in you. Fine. The Kazekage is dead. Orochimaru of the Sannin killed him. And he's planning something rather dangerous that your village is right in the center in. I show you that I'm willing to pay you what you ask for. So give me the information and you'll get the rest. You know what? I'm gonna trust you. Because you have a trustworthy face. A rather handsome one that I like. Orochimaru is planning on invading her village, using the sand, pretending to be Raza. He also has a sound village under his control, and he's going to use them and invade your village during the last moment of the Chunin exams. Minato was shocked when he heard that. As Naruto reached for the cash, but Minato slammed his hand on top of it. Not so fast, he said. Time skip. I really don't see the appeal of this place. Think of it as a home for now, Minato said. You will be treated fairly. You will be fed and given what you desire until the time is ready for you to move. The both of them made a deal. Minato promised that he would give Naruto the 5 million Ryu and threw in a extra 500,000 if he helped in what is going to happen. Minato heard all the rumors about Deadpool. And surprisingly, these rumors were not actually rumors, they were truthful. People of his own had confirmed what they had heard. Minato, having a lot to do, Orochimaru was planning on making a move. Minato knew if he was to engage right now, Orochimaru would simply stop his plans for now, and he would never get a hold of him ever again. So Minato was going to end this once and for all, by allowing the exams to continue, by allowing everything to continue, and he would be prepared. And Naruto will be fighting on Konoha's side. His job was to eliminate as much sound ninja as he possibly could. So a deal was made between the two. In the time being though, Minato will be keeping him on lockup. Yes, he would keep him on lockup. As the place wasn't really a cell. They were in the Anvu headquarters though. It was a resting area, but the design, it was perfect to keep someone trapped inside. Anvus were crawling all over, so he would be safely stuck here. Not to mention the room had suppressors that limit the amount of chakra one could use at any given time. Alright, fine, said Naruto. But you better move now, I mean. He's only gonna be gone for 2 days. Orochimaru had said that the Kazekage told him that he would be away for 2 days on a special assignment. So Minato had 2 days to go to the village and convince them on what was truly going on. His Hiroshin would allow him to get there rather quickly than most. And he had to do it fast if he was gonna play this and pull it off. Sometime later, we find Naruto reading a book. Man, and people say they read for fun. This sucks, he said to himself. It's a good thing that I don't need chakra for these. As Naruto extended his claws before he went the opposite way and tore through the steel to the right side, making his own entrance. Sometime later, Naruto was in the village. He could smell and hear all of the envoys, so it wasn't hard to leave the opposite way. It was extremely easy because he wasn't going where they were. Here he was now, walking around the village, fully decked out in his suit. Never actually been to Konoha before. I wonder what it has to offer, he said to himself, as he made his way, unaware that this place meant more to him than he ever knew. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the What Ifs of the other channels. I hope you enjoy each and every one of them, and don't forget to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, waste no more time. What do you say we begin this? No guys, what am I saying? See you guys soon. Peace.